Teddy met Tanesia in their 20s. Teddy was quiet but demanding, while Tanesia, who had never dated anyone before, fell head over heels for him. Their early days were bright with young love and dreams of a shared future. And soon they welcomed a daughter and a son into their lives. Welcome to Criminal Case Files with Rachel. Let's dive right in, shall we? Teddy and Tanesia's relationship was a roller coaster of love, conflict, and ultimately, tragedy. Over 8 years, they built a life together, raising their kids in Midwood. But beneath the facade, their relationship was filled with friction that would eventually lead to a heartbreaking end. The pressures of daily life began to strain their bond. Financial troubles, parenting disagreements, and the juggle of work and family life created a tension that simmered constantly. Tanesia, dedicated to her nursing studies, and her job at a local hospital, had recently finished nursing school. She was ambitious and driven, working tirelessly for a better future for her kids. Meanwhile, Teddy struggled with feelings of control and possessiveness. Neighbors described him as quiet, but insistent on having things his way. As Tanesia's independence grew, so did Teddy's frustrations. He couldn't handle her aspirations and newfound confidence. Neighbors often heard their arguments, with some writing them off as typical couple disputes, while others sensed something more intense. They were always fighting, one neighbor recalled, yet there were also moments of normalcy and tenderness, like when Tanesia would cradle their baby and Teddy would hold their daughter's hand. Recently, Tanesia decided she had enough. She secured a new apartment and planned to move out with the kids, hoping to escape the toxic dynamics of her relationship with Teddy. Her family supported her, knowing she needed a safe and stable environment for herself and her children. Tanesia's aunt described her as quiet, hardworking, and focused on her responsibilities. Everything was ready for the move, including the key to her new place. But this bold step towards independence triggered a deadly confrontation. The night before the tragedy, Norma couldn't sleep, kept awake by the sound of arguing coming from Teddy and Tanesia's bedroom. She had grown used to their frequent disputes, but this time, the tension seemed particularly intense. On the morning of the shooting, the arguments continued. Norma got up to find Tanesia packing clothes into a laundry bag. The sight of them fighting once again filled her with dread. As they moved from the bedroom to the bathroom, their voices grew louder. Then, the unthinkable happened. Teddy left the room briefly and returned with a gun. Norma's heart pounded as she saw him retrieve the weapon from a cupboard. Before she could react, he aimed the gun at Tanesia and fired 2 shots. Tanesia fell, but Teddy's rage didn't stop there. He stomped on her face in a brutal act of violence that left Norma frozen in fear. In shock, she watched as her son then turned the gun on himself. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the apartment, and Teddy collapsed next to Tanesia. Norma's screams pierced the morning air, alerting neighbors to the horrific scene. The once quiet apartment, now a place of unspeakable tragedy, was filled with her anguish. Police arrived shortly after 10 a.m., finding Norma in deep shock. She was taken to a nearby hospital for observation, her mind reeling from the trauma. Also inside the apartment were Teddy and Tanesia's young children, a 2-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. The innocent children, too young to understand the chaos, were quickly removed from the apartment by responding officers. The apartment was cordoned off, and the bodies of Teddy and Tanesia were removed, leaving a grieving mother struggling to comprehend what had happened. Neighbors, stunned by the violence, rallied around Norma, offering condolences and support. They were always fighting, one neighbor recalled, but no one expected this. Another neighbor, Christopher Andra, noted that Teddy had seemed particularly stressed in recent weeks, but nothing could have prepared them for the tragedy that unfolded. In the days that followed, Norma's grief was compounded by a profound sense of loss and confusion. She had witnessed the darkest moment of her son's life, a moment that ended both his and Tanesia's futures. The memories of that morning haunted her, replaying in her mind as she struggled to make sense of the senseless. "They had problems for a long time," she said. "The children, the rent, the money, it all boiled over. Her voice trembled as she spoke of her love for her son and the heartbreak of losing him in such a violent manner. The tragic end of Teddy and Tanesia's relationship left their community in shock. Neighbors struggled to reconcile the image of the seemingly normal family with the horrific violence that occurred. Teddy, seen as a sweetheart by some, revealed a darker side, driven by jealousy and possessiveness. Tanesia's family mourned the loss of a beautiful, dedicated woman who had worked tirelessly for a better future. Her uncle, Michael Blockwood, expressed his intense hatred for Teddy in a scathing social media post, reflecting the deep anger and grief felt by those who loved Tanesia. This tragic story is a reminder of the complexities and dangers of domestic relationships. It highlights the importance of recognizing signs of control and possessiveness, and the need for support and intervention. One of the first signs of a manipulative partner is controlling behavior. This can range from dictating how you dress to monitoring your interactions with others. Pay attention to any attempts to isolate you from friends and family. Excessive jealousy is another red flag. If your partner frequently accuses you of infidelity or becomes irrationally jealous of your interactions with others, it's a sign of deeper issues. Emotional manipulation, such as using guilt or fear to control you, is also a key indicator. Trust your instincts. Often, your gut feeling can tell you more than you realize. If something feels off, or if you feel uneasy around your partner, don't ignore these feelings. They are often your subconscious picking up on problematic behaviors. Observe if their actions consistently match their words. Manipulative individuals may make promises they do not keep, creating a cycle of disappointment and confusion. Remember that you deserve respect and love. Don't settle for a relationship where you feel undervalued or controlled. Work on building your self-esteem. A strong sense of self-worth can help you resist manipulative tactics and make decisions that are best for you. Love should never cloud your reasoning to the point where you ignore warning signs. By staying vigilant, trusting your instincts, and seeking support, you can protect yourself from manipulative partners and ensure your relationships are healthy and fulfilling. Recognizing and acting on these signs early can prevent heartache and ensure a safer, happier future.